From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, God.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. And look at this story. Customers at some suburban pizza parlors. Attention all Dagos. Thank you, Dean. The Dean of Dagosity. There he is. Our resident tool of ignorance, Dean J. D'Amelio. Try to remember the DSC right here. Says here, customers at some suburban pizza parlors are getting something extra with their pepperoni and mushrooms. This is on pizza boxes, folks. Wanted posters for parents accused of failing to pay child support. Oh, yeah. That's going to be effective. The idea came to Cynthia Brown, executive director of the Butler County Child Enforcement Agency, while she was ordering pizza. This is in Ohio, by the way. Brown, whose county is north of Cincinnati, said, "It suddenly dawned on me that most people running from the law don't eat out. They order pizza. You're a ditz, lady. You're a loon. You're a complete lunatic." It says here, enforcement agencies across the country use a variety of methods to locate support scofflaws and collect past due payments. Virginia has issued subpoenas to cellular phone companies seeking addresses and phone numbers. Kern County, north of us here in California, seizes and auctions parents' vehicles, with proceeds going to the children. The proceeds not going to the children. Proceeds are going to the Buy Jack Daniels for Mommy's New Boyfriend fund. That's where that money is going. Buy Mommy a new dress so she can attract a new husband fund. Yes. That's Kay Cullen who said that, a spokeswoman of something called the National Child Support Enforcement Association. It says here, state child support agencies collected more than $23 billion in child support for 17.2 million children in 2005. But the cumulative past due child support since the agencies were first formed more than 30 years ago is $106 billion, Cullen said. She said, while we have made progress, putting the wanted posters on pizza boxes is an example of the kind of innovation and commitment that we need. I mean, what's next? Why don't we just tattoo these guys on the forehead? Why don't we just, come on. Make them paint their cars pink. This is the kind of innovation we need. See, I think what we really ought to do is women collecting child support should be tattooed, so that when we meet them in clubs, we know to stay away. Any woman who's ever sued a guy for child support, we should tattoo them. Put their faces on pizza boxes. Are you kidding me? You know what's interesting about this? They put the people who don't pay child support on pizza boxes. How about the women who denied visitation to the fathers of their children? How come we don't see their pictures on wanted posters? You know, the women who disappear with their kids and don't let the fathers see the children? Why aren't they on wanted posters? Why aren't we putting billboards up with pictures of these women who hide out and don't let the kids ever see their dad again, but continue to collect child support? Now, the reason is simple, because the state doesn't give a rat's ass about what they call the best interest of children. They want to collect money so they don't have to pay money out in welfare payments, and that's their only concern. They don't care if the kid sees his father. They don't care if the father gets a relationship or bonds with his child. They couldn't care less about that. All they care about is getting money and demonizing another group of men. That's what this is all about. Putting the pictures of guys who don't pay child support on pizza boxes. Are you kidding me? Jesus. It says here that this woman, Cynthia Brown of the Butler County, Ohio Child Enforcement Agency, approached several restaurants and chains with her idea of affixing the posters to pizza boxes. But so far, only 3 pizzerias are participating. By the way, if I ever receive a pizza with a picture of a deadbeat dad on it, that is the last time I will order that pizza. Ever. Ever. And don't forget, most of the people who order pizza, guys. I swear, as I'm sitting here, any pizzeria that ever puts a picture of a deadbeat father on a pizza box, I will tell the whole world about it on the radio, and I will make sure that people know where your pizzeria stands on this issue. What would you rather do, sell pizza or bring these dangerous criminals to justice? If I'm in the pizza business, I want to sell pizza. Says here, since the first pizza posters appeared in August, they have led to 1 arrest. Sergeant Todd Langmeyer, Butler County Sheriff's Office, said it's a good idea anytime you can put the faces out there. He said the posters have led to 1 arrest. I'd like to know what traitor saw a picture of a deadbeat dad on a pizza box and called the police. 7 months, they nailed 1 guy. Says here, the owner of Karen's Pizzeria hasn't heard any complaints about her participation in the poster program. Karen Willis, the owner, says some customers joke about it and say they're glad they aren't on it. Most seem to think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea, Karen. Maury Bollier, whose law firm is in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and he focuses on fathers' rights cases, called the tactic horrible. He said it's just a way of shaming people. He said that many circumstances can cause people to get behind in their support payments, but that doesn't make them deadbeats. Yeah, how about when mom won't let you see the kids? I think that's a good reason not to pay. Don't you? Think that's good when your kids and their friends are seeing daddy on a pizza box, on a wanted poster? You think that's a good idea? This is absolutely outrageous. Women who take their kids and run are just as much criminals, if not more so, than men who don't pay their child support. That's just a fact. Am I wrong about this?
Tom. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Oh, man, it is good to hear your voice.
Yes, I know.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Annie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. Well, I usually agree with you, Tom, but I have to say you're wrong. Laughing when you say that these people aren't criminals. They are criminals. They're deadbeat dads, and they should be paying child support. They deserve to be shamed.
Well, let's start with it. First of all, I would not be shamed if I was not paying. I'll tell you right now. If I had a reason not to pay, let's say,
Could they possibly possibly be?
Well, let's say I was being denied access to my children.
That doesn't matter. It's not a car. You pay no matter what. It's not
But if my rights are being denied, why should I care about your rights?
It's not my right. It's the child.
Well, that's what you say, but the fact is that money doesn't go to the child. It goes to you.
To pay for the child.
Well, if you use the money for that, and by the way, we don't require you to prove that you spent it on the child, and we have no way of knowing if you ever did.
Well, of course you do. You're feeding and clothing that child.
No, we don't know that. We don't know that. That's what you say. That's what you say. You know, if I am audited by the Internal Revenue Service, I have to bring that shoebox full of receipts down to the IRS, and I have to prove every expense. But if I suspect that the person who had my children isn't spending the money on the kids, guess what? They're not required to prove anything.
And they shouldn't have to.
Why not?
Because the child is obviously being well cared for.
There's nothing obvious. Why do you say it's obvious? Maybe you're a tweaker. Maybe you're a heroin user. Maybe you're spending the money on your boyfriend's guitar strings. I have no idea what you're spending that money on.
All right. I'll give you that. That's fine, but that's not really the issue.
No, it's not just fine. It's a fact, and it is one of the examples of what I'm talking about, where women are given the ability to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and men are the ones who are held responsible.
They help make the baby too.
That's not the point. If you're going to get child support, you should be forced to document every penny you spend on that kid.
No, Tom, you're wrong.
Why not?
Because it's not a possession.
That has nothing to do with it.
Child.
If I give you money to spend on the child, I want to know where it went.
Well, if you think that the child is not being cared for, not being fed and clothed, then you can take that up and probably get custody of the child. It's happened many times.
But how do I? But the point is that if I had receipts to document what you're doing, I would have proof, and then I could go to the judge and say, "Look at this, judge. She spends money on Jack Daniels and tequila. She spends money on cigarettes and tattoos. She spends money going on vacation, and meanwhile, the kid is dressed like a slob."
All right, Tom. I think you're wrong, but
you don't have any reason or any logic behind what you're saying.
I do have logic.
All you have is emotion, like most of the women who call here.
All right, Tom.
There you go. And that's the ability of your average female to argue any point. Right there. You're wrong, that. Goodbye. Loretta on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I agree with you 100%. 100%. I'm sick and tired of, and I admit I used to be one of those people that, deadbeat dads. I think they're awful and but now I'm with a father of two, and there's no laws protecting the dads anymore. I just it's all about the mothers and what they what they feel like they need, and your point about how much money it takes to raise a child, and how much they actually get. My fiance, he has to pay out half of his paycheck for the child support. He wouldn't even be able to, if it wasn't for my help and my income, he wouldn't be able to live on his own.
And I'll tell you something else, Loretta. Chances are when you get married, once his ex figures out that he's married, he'll be hauled back into family court and they'll recalculate his child support based on your family income.
Well, which is exactly why we're not going to be getting married.
I mean, I know you call him your fiancé, but do you really want to marry a guy like that?
No, I'm actually not going to for that reason. I call him that, and we already feel married, and so I'm not even going to go there because I'm afraid of that for that exact reason.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. She's not going to get her hands on my money, on my hard-earned wages. No way. And and exactly, they don't. She gets to do whatever she wants, and spend however she wants, on whatever she wants, and she doesn't get to account for any of it.
Right. And didn't I see, like, P. Diddy, wasn't he paying somebody $35,000 a month child support?
Yeah, it takes $35,000 to raise a child. I mean, give me a break.
Right.
And there needs to be more laws out there protecting the father. And
well, I say, you know what? I say if you're going to make somebody pay $35,000 a month, here's what you do. You give mom $2,000 a month to raise the kid and put the other $48,000 in a trust for the kid. When he grows up, he can spend it on college.
Okay, exactly.
But it should be there so mom can burnish her product collection.
Yep. Exactly. So I'm glad you're putting it out there, and you know, at least there's you having a voice out there for the dads in the world. And I mean, my point of being a deadbeat dad is I understand why so many men become deadbeat dads, because, you know, ultimately, you know, there's so many of them that probably can't afford to, you know, to pay the child support. And I think ultimately, I mean, I'm sure that there are legitimate cases out there where, you know, the dads are not being responsible and not, you know, doing what they need to do. But I you know, just experience what I've witnessed, and I think that there's a lot of men out there that probably been forced into that situation. So
No doubt about it, Loretta. Thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Deborah on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, first-time caller. I just want to let you know I totally agree with you. I mean,
By the way, wait, hang on. Are you on a speakerphone?
No.
Hands-free something or other?
No, I'm actually just driving in the
Just
rain.
a bad-sounding phone. Okay, go ahead.
But I just want to let you know I totally agree. I think a lot of women are out there just to get, you know, their baby father's money. And, I mean, I honestly think that a lot of guys are getting ripped off, and that it's not fair because then they're afraid to start, say if they do want a family, they're afraid to start their own family because they don't have enough money.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right.
It's just not fair. And I mean, it's just a lot of women are out there just to get more money. And basically, if you are still married to that person, you know darn well you would not be spending money left and right for your kid. You would actually be using what you guys could come up with.
No, well, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, and these women, I don't know. They're just out there for more money, and that's what it is.
And that's really, it's getting another pound of flesh. That's what it's all about. Nobody deserves $35,000 a month in child support.
I mean, if you give me $30,000 a month, I could do wonders with that. And these women just straight plain crazy.
How many designer clothes could you buy for your little brat? I mean, come on.
Exactly. You know, you used to shop at Payless, and now all of a sudden you want to go to the most expensive store to buy shoes.
Right.
Because you got the money. And on the other end, your husband or your baby's father is over there struggling and eating, you know, soup or something because you're out there eating at some expensive restaurant.
He's living at the now renting apartments in a studio.
Exactly. Or renting out a bedroom for somebody.
That's exactly right.
But I just want to let you know I totally agree with you, and I love your show. I've been a listener for 2 months and listen to you every day now. Every day.
Wow. Oh, thank you for that, Deborah. You know what they ought to do? They ought to take pictures of women who have sued for child support and put them on posters at nightclubs. So when guys are asking women to dance, they can see which women are demanding money and then avoid them. Wouldn't it be nice if you would know which women to not pick up on in a club? Because you know they're going to get pregnant and then sue you for money. Joel on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Dad. How you doing?
Doing okay, son.
Hey, I just wanted to go back into a little bit of history. I'm in the military, and I'm stationed down in Mountain View, California. And I left active duty back in March of '05, and they were taking half of my income for child support for my son. I was an E2 at the time, making about $1,300, and this is right after, before taxes. Taking half of that away, and then I had visitation with my son, and I was bringing home about $800 a month in the military, and my daycare was at $400 a month. Now, I barely had enough to scrape by. I still had to pay child support on my son while my son was with me when I was on active duty. Now, I didn't understand exactly why it is that way, that the amount was so high, but I did a little research, and the research that I found out was that back with the Welfare Reform Act, 66 cents on every dollar is given back to the states by the federal government whenever it's collected by non-custodial parents. Whenever they collect that money, the state gets a kickback from that. So for all the guys out there that don't know why child support is so high, that's one of the reasons, because it actually goes into highway funds. That's a big cash cow for the states to get money. So I just wanted everybody out there to know that, because I think a lot.
Oh, and that's what this is all about. This is about the states not wanting to pay welfare.
Except that too, also as well, and that's part of the Reform Act. That was a federal act.
That's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with what's in the best interest of children.
And that's why I couldn't barely even support my child while he was with me. Now, I haven't seen my kid in 2 years, and I did actually get to see him this last Christmas. I drove from California to Oregon to file, and then I had to come back again to show up in court. That was 2,800 miles of driving to get to see my kid, because my son's mom figured out that after I left Oregon and came to California, that would be more convenient for me not to see my kid. Now, I ended up coming back and seeing my kid during Christmas, and to find out that he's referring to her boyfriend as dad, which kind of hurt me really bad.
Well, but it did.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things that I kind of tend to wonder about, and I'm wondering, when I hear about a lot of things about freedom in this country, this is one of the things personally that is kind of an assault upon my personal freedom.
Now, to that, Joel, did you ever get a DNA test on that kid?
I did.
Okay.
I
You never know. Maybe the guy is dead.
Oh, who's dead?
I said you never know. Maybe the guy is the kid's dad.
No, I did get the paternity test. I know that he definitely does look like me. I won't deny that. And
everybody loves to believe that, but we've talked to lots of guys who believe that, and then went and had a DNA test, found out their kid wasn't their kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know underneath my personal, just from my relationship, I don't know. I believe he's mine. I won't deny that. I do love him very much, with all my heart. I mean, I know I need to man up, and I'm doing that. I'm there for him, but it's made it very tough, and it's not right. I do believe that most of these women that are out there doing this, it's a crime, really. In reality, it robs the child of their identity. And not only that, but it robs the father, and it's completely destructive all the way around.
Well, the states don't care about that, Joel, as you have figured out.
Tom. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Oh, man, it is good to hear your voice.
Yes, I know. The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show from Los Angeles. At 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Michelle on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Do you care?
Not really.
I didn't think so.
But I did want to comment about the child support issue. I get child support for a child. He's 3 now. And I don't spend a dime of that child support on my baby. I mean, I have enough money to take care of him out of the money I make. But the money that goes into a separate account...
That's gravy.
...is all child support. I really don't spend any of it on the kids.
So tell everybody what you spend the child support on.
It's actually I can't wait till the 1st, because that's when I get the money, and I pretty much just spend it on gambling or clothes. I'll get a massage. It's pretty much my money. That's what I look at it. That's how I look at it. And that's the truth. I mean, he never questions where I spend the money, but there's no way I could possibly spend all that money on a child.
How much does he pay you?
It's substantial. It's over $7,000 a month.
You get $7,000 a month, and it's all for you to get massages. And I guess you buy clothes and handbags and shoes and things like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll spend some of it on, him out of that money, but pretty much that money I don't use on the child. I mean, I have daycare expenses that come out, and you know, daycare's like $500 or $600 a month sometimes. So besides that, I mean, there really isn't, and child is not that expensive. I mean, up until a certain age, you really don't need to pay as much as, you know, guys are paying, especially when they can't afford it.
Was this a relationship? Or was this a one-night stand, Michelle?
No, this was a marriage. It was a short-lived marriage, but it was a marriage.
But did you get married because you got pregnant, or you got married and you got pregnant right away, or what happened?
No, I got married because I hooked me a nice rich guy. And
so that was your plan?
Well, yeah, in essence.
Is that why you got pregnant so fast?
Well, no, I wasn't actually planning on having a child. This baby actually just happened.
They never just happened, dear. Were you using birth control?
Yes, I was using birth control.
You were?
I was using birth control, but
I don't mean a condom. I mean you were using birth control.
No, I was taking orthonovum. It's a pill, and I was also taking antibiotics that month.
So they didn't work.
But I had strep throat. I was taking antibiotics.
And the doctor never told you that if you take the two together, the birth control doesn't work?
No, he didn't mention it to me.
How convenient.
Yeah.
So now you get $84,000 a year to do with what you want.
Uh-huh.
Hang on a second, Michelle. Will, what did you want to say to Michelle?
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Great.
Michelle, you are a dumb bitch. You don't care about that child whatsoever. If you did, you would be taking that money, putting it into a trust fund, a college fund, so that child would have money to go to college when it grew up and turned 18 and graduated high school so it could grow up to be something. I mean, come on, think about something other than that gash between your legs.
You want the what between my legs?
I said, think about something else other than that gash between your legs. You're a troglodyte. You don't care about anybody but yourself. You don't love that child.
How do you know who I love?
You don't love that child. If you did, you would be doing what I just said. You would be thinking about that child's future.
I have enough money to put away for my child. I put away
the money
that I get from my ex.
Are you doing it?
Yes, I am. Of course I am.
Prove it.
I have CDs for my child. I have mutual funds for my child.
So why don't you put that child support money in the fund? That is specifically for the child. That is given to you for the child. If you're not spending it on the child, if you're spending it for yourself, you don't care about that child.
You pay child support too.
All you care about is what you think you need, what you
well, honey,
feel.
It's my world.
What you feel don't mean diddly squat to the big picture. All right? Listen to me on this. I have an ex-wife. She spent all her child support money that she was getting on me on some homeless, unemployed dude that she hooked up with. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it.
By the way, Michelle, do you spend it on guys, too? Like if you have a boyfriend or...
No, definitely not. Men spend money on me. I won't spend $1 on a man.
You are a self-centered, self-seeking bitch. You don't care about anybody but yourself. And if there was a way that we could prosecute bitches like you, we would send you to the deepest, darkest hole we could find.
You know who I'd find there? A whole bunch of really classy women.
You call yourself classy?
Absolutely.
You are a troglodyte. Do you even know what a troglodyte is?
No, as a matter of fact.
Go back to school, get an education, buy a dictionary, look it up. It's Trogladyte. Look it up.
Okay, I'll hit Google as soon as I get home. How's that?
God, what a dumbass. Yo, Tom.
Is that all you got, Will? Come on.
I've been drinking. What can I say? I'm celebrating.
What are you doing drinking at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you lush? You're probably driving around the streets of L.A. ready to kill somebody.
Actually, I'm in Dallas and I have a badge. I have a gun. This is my day off. I'm having fun. I'm sitting at home by myself thinking about calling one of my...
How much money do you have in savings, Will?
More than you can possibly imagine.
You know, if you had a lot of money in savings, you'd have something better to do than call California.
I'm listening to Tom on the Internet. I got Tom on the Internet. I got Russ Martin on the radio in the background. I'm sitting there, I'm chilling, my house is clean, my laundry's done.
You get drunk and you call radio stations because no women want to look at you.
Oh, please.
That's what's going on here. Well, you have no life.
I am the world's biggest
a-hole,
and women love
on the radio.
Will's got a badge and a gun. He's got women crawling all over him.
Absolutely.
That's because he's threatening to kill them, probably, or arrest them. Look, hookers don't count, okay? When you pick up a hooker in the back seat of your car, you can't say, give me some and I won't arrest you. That doesn't count.
Oh, please. I'm talking about the women in bar parking lots that are
complaining that I don't love my son.
I'm talking about the hot young chicks that are in their 20s, that are 5'6", they weigh less than 120 pounds. They got great big cans.
I'm 24, and I am pretty darn hot, okay?
You're 24. You got how many kids?
One.
You're a gash. You've been
gash.
whoring it out. At 24, you should have never got married. You should have never got married.
You're a terrible example for the police department in your station, in your area.
Really? The police love me.
Thank God that you're calling California. You're too embarrassed to call a radio station out where you are. You got to call the #1 rated station in California just to get some attention?
No, I'm calling this radio station in California just to chew your dumb ass.
No, I think
you're a typical woman. You don't care about facts. It's how you feel instead of what's really going on.
Absolutely. It's how I feel because this is my world and you're living in it.
I am not living in your world, and I wouldn't touch your world with a 10-foot pole.
You're in my world now because you are completely.
Why would I want you when I've got 12 children who want to hit it with me? Why would I want you?
What are you, a 47-year-old limp lush with a badge? That's all you have.
Excuse me, I am 43. I am 5'6". I am 220 pounds.
The sound of your voice.
I got a BMI that's really low.
Smoker too.
Oh yeah. I also sing and I also play guitar.
Take your Winston Lights and your bourbon and your badge and bug off. Okay, I'm calling to talk to Tom.
Well, Tom's having too much fun listening to me talk to you right now. Let's get back to you. The subject is you and what you're spending that money on.
How many years have you been drinking?
The subject is you and what you're spending that money on. That money was given to you
specifically. Do you actually advocate drinking and driving? I can hear you driving in the background.
I'm sitting at home. You can't hear Jack squat in the background.
You should take a look at yourself, okay? Because, they're having an AA meeting down the street. You should probably get to it.
You know what? I did quit
Sitting at home alone drinking bourbon.
I don't drink bourbon.
That's not exactly healthy for you. What you should be doing is get dressed, go to a meeting, find yourself a respectable young lady in her early 40s.
Don't miss a game with NHL Center Ice. See your favorite team and the biggest stars as they gear up for the playoffs. See the games you can't see anywhere else. Up to 40 games a week. Select games available in HD. Track your fantasy players live. Every player, every game, every night. Order now and catch the rest of the season for only $119. Call your local cable or satellite provider to order. Blackout restrictions apply. Schedule subject to change. Follow your favorite team all the way to the Stanley Cup with NHL Center Ice.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. The Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, yeah, the Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Christine. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
First of all, Michelle should take another Valium. And I wanted to ask you, I agree with everything you say most of the time. But why do you think that P. Diddy should not pay $35,000 in child support?
Because it doesn't cost $35,000 a month to raise a child.
Okay, that man is making millions upon millions of dollars a minute.
What does that have to do with anything?
Dude, if he's wearing watches that cost more than my house,
why does that have to do with... Why does that mean that the woman who had the kid should have watches like that?
But she doesn't. Why should the kid live on $2,000 a month when his dad's making millions of dollars just by going to the bathroom?
Well, here's the deal. I have no problem with telling him to pay if the money goes into trust for the kid and mom can't spend it. But that's not what's done. Mom gets to take that money and spend it on handbags.
Do Do you think magically in 10 years, P. Diddy's not going to be able to pay for his kid to go to college? Do you think that kid doesn't have it made for the rest of his life, even when he turns 18? And
that's not my point. The point is the woman should not have the right to spend that money.
If the dad is making millions upon millions,
has nothing to do with it.
It
has nothing to do with it.
She should be able to buy her kid designer outfits.
I'm not talking about what she's buying her kid. It's what she's buying herself.
More than my car.
It's what she's buying herself that I object to.
Well, then she shouldn't be buying things for herself. But $35,000 when your husband's or when your whatever is making that much money is not that big.
Again, fine. So what should happen is she should get $2,000 a month to raise the kid, and the other $48,000 should go into a trust account.
Tom, I have a kid, and $2,000 a month is like dropping nothing in a bucket. Like formula and diapers alone are $700. Daycare is $500. That's $1,200 right there.
And that by the way should be your half. That's your half.
Yeah, but that's all of it, all together. $700.
It's $2,000 a month. That we have of $4,000 a month. If you can't raise a kid on $48,000 a year, you got a problem.
Dude, I cannot raise a kid on $48,000 a year. That is
you have to stop buying. You have to stop buying the kid Nikes and Adidas.
I don't buy my kids Ikea.
Sure you do.
I'm very frugal with my.
Sure you do. The statistics from the government say it costs $200,000 to raise a child. That's about $1,000 a month. You're spending way too much.
The Tom Leykis Show.